What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla Spy and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to break down some big updates involving the Tesla Optimus robots, which you should be watching for as time progresses, because Elon Musk said some very important things about it. But before I break down all this information, before I talk about the markets and the Optimus bots, let me just mention a couple of things. I'm personally not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And then don't forget about the Weeble link. The offer ends very soon. If you deposit $500, you guarantee 20 free stocks, and the offer ends in just about 12 hours from now. Anyways, for the market, I just wanted to mention that right now we saw a nice little pump throughout the markets before the market's now starting to slow down a bit. So we'll see if it leads to a pump and dump move for the overall markets. But Tesla, on the other hand, is actually making an interesting move. I said in the morning, okay, that we're going to be looking for a pump on Tesla to at least 185. If that broke, look for 188. Then I mentioned that SPY might see some downside. The market may see some downside. This could lead to Tesla also kind of slowing down. And we're kind of seeing that like really playing out. Tesla pumped and dumped, as I mentioned as a warning in my video. That's why I said to watch resistance on Tesla, and that's what's happening. We kind of pumped and we're dumping back down. I'm going to be watching the support at 182.5 on Tesla, followed by 180. If we lose 180, there'll be a bigger dip coming. So we'll just watch and see how Tesla ends up moving. I'll talk more about the charts in just a minute, but I want to talk about a couple of things. So, as you guys know, we just got the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index report showing some weakness overall. And then we also have the 3-month and 6-month bill auctions coming out at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, followed by Daly from the Fed giving a speech. Daly is known for being kind of like in the middle, a little bit more indifferent, not too hawkish, not too dovish. So we'll just have to give it some time, not really expecting anything too crazy. Now, there's been some big news involving the Tesla Optimus robots, and Elon Musk was talking about this very recently, saying that the robots can be a babysitter, a companion, and a teacher. And he's actually talking about the latest upgrades that are coming out. So Musk is saying that this has a lot of potential to not only work in Tesla's factories, but they're going to be making Tesla a $25 trillion company, and there's going to be over over 1,000 of them working at the factories by next year. So that's actually some very, very big news because it's just showing their development and how they're actually growing and what these robots are capable of doing. They're actually able to kind of mimic humans right now. This doesn't necessarily make them autonomous fully quite yet, but there are lots and lots of improvements coming, and you shouldn't really kind of like step away from this or kind of overlook their capabilities. So we have the Generation 2 Optimus robot. It has hands featuring 22 degrees of freedom, and it's able to do many dexterous things. On top of all of this, they're saying that it could be a very, very friendly companion, and Musk gave us some estimates about it. He mentioned that once again, this could be very, very useful. It could also help essentially raise children, help babysit them, be a companion, it could be a teacher, and do all kinds of stuff, according to Elon Musk. He also mentioned that who doesn't want to see 3PO, which is kind of funny, or R2D2. It's like everything in one, which is kind of funny. I find that to be absolutely hilarious, but very, very cool stuff. And there's actually a lot of truth behind that, of course. Very, very cool stuff. There's also been a lot of talk right over here about, the Optimus robot and what we've learned about it. So Musk is also saying some important things about how, with these new abilities, it's also capable of playing music on the piano and doing a lot of interesting motor functions. On top of this, it's Musk has also talked about how there's going to be at least 2 humanoid robots for every human on the planet in the future, and eventually it could even increase by a much bigger threshold than that. There could be billions of these humanoid robots walking around. Not to mention the fact that this is going to help Tesla scale to over $1 trillion per year. It's also worth noting, and that's like their overall profit. I also want to note that for the costs, Tesla could be once again charging about $20,000 USD for it on a large scale production. I think that's something worth noting, and that could be very, very huge for them. So the Optimus robot, it has so many capabilities. It's also worth noting that this robot can not only do things, but this is a product that Tesla's selling that is resembling a human, and it has the capability to not only think but do very, very complex things. And that's what, it's very bullish for Tesla. I know that different people will have different views about what this means for the labor market and such, and that's very understandable. But I'm not here to make that argument today. I'm not going to be arguing too much about that right now. I just want to focus on the fact that nonetheless, this is still very bullish news for Tesla, and Tesla has a lot of growth coming up. Now we have the 4680 production sets to start by August 2024. Some big news right here. That's by LG Energy Solutions. This will be very useful for Tesla's battery cells, their production, and their growth. I think that this is necessary for them to continue to scale up, especially as they're continuing to produce more of them in Texas and all over the world. On top of this, getting more suppliers together, working together, and this will just be a lot more helpful for Tesla since there'll be a lot more advantages with costs and such different places, and there are more advantages that Tesla could take over. I also want to mention that we basically have a 14% decrease in Tesla's overall headcount so far. The workforce is currently at an estimated 121,000 workers. So I just wanted to note that it's making a lot of headlines. Anyways, for Tesla in the market, let's break down some very important levels. Tesla has this resistance around 185, and then 188 was our next level. Those are the levels Tesla respected today, and now it's kind of dipping back down. So let's bring back these levels. So I'm going to be watching this 183 area as our supports to 182.5. Losing this opens the door for 180, so make sure you watch the support very carefully, close to where this yellow line happens to be. We have resistance at 185. Right now, Tesla's kind of pumped and then dumped. It might shuffle in this 183 area, maybe dip a little bit more, especially if SPY falls and the market starts falling more. So I just want to call that out just to give you guys a warning about this, that there is still a risk of Tesla dipping a bit and just continuing to shuffle. We're also range bound. We've been range bound for the last 4 or 5 days. So we're still kind of stuck. So we just have to give this some time. As far as SPY goes, SPY kind of pumped all the way up towards 547, only to kind of dip back down. And now we're looking at our 50 EMA, this 545.33 support. If we lose that, we could be dipping all the way down to the 544s. We also have resistance at 545.8 and also at 547. There's going to be a risk of this dipping even lower, all the way down to the 544s. SPY looks like it kind of pumped and dumped, which is once again showing weakness. And what else is worth noting is that we have more confirmation that the trend is a little bit more bearish because we had this high on SPY, we came down, made a lower high, and we're continuing to fall. So you guys could see that there is weakness on the charts. We did break 545.8 temporarily to hit 547, only to reject again. So we're looking more bearish. We're going to be looking for a move right back down. On top of all of this, I wanted to mention that Nvda is showing weakness. This is also part of what's driving the market lower. Nvda is dipping right now towards our target of 118. I did call out more downside in my morning video. So I think there's a risk of Nvidia dipping all the way down to about this 116 area. And if we eventually continue to fall, we have the gap to fill down to 110. So if we lose 115, I think 110 could be coming. So I see more downside, at least for Nvidia. Lo and behold, SPY is already testing 545, showing weakness. So it's still favoring bears. For Bitcoin is also showing some weakness. We could be dipping all the way down to about the 60,000 area. Continuing to fall right here. We came just short of our 20 EMA. So I think Bitcoin, is going to continue to dip down. 60,000, 500, and 60,000 are likely coming. So I'll be watching for that. For the QQQ, I'm noticing that this is looking a little bit more bearish. We're also continuing to fall. And we lost support. We rebounded a bit to about 480. This is just another liquidity grab. And now we're dipping down to our support. I'll be watching 475 as key supports. If we end up losing, this support will be dipping all the way down towards 472. So I'm seeing nothing but weakness on the QQQ right now. Same thing on SPY. We're seeing a lot of weakness developing in the markets. Apple pumped up to about 210, only to potentially reject. I mean, it could go a little higher. We could get very close to 210, and then we could be looking for rejection as well on Apple because the trend is bearish overall. For Supermicro, looking a little bit more bearish as well. Continuing to fall, we'll be looking at support down towards 825. So it could dip a little bit lower, but make sure you watch that support just to see how things end up developing. For the IWM Russell 2000, we have 202 as resistance. If we reject you, we'll be dipping back down to 200. And if we hold and manage to actually break above this, I'll be looking for a push all the way up towards 203.5. So to me, it looks like it could reject. There could be a move back down towards 200. So watch and see if we get this rejection. For Coinbase, Coinbase is looking a little bit more bearish. We actually hit our 20 EMA, and I think that there's going to be a risk of this dipping lower as well, all the way down towards, I'm going to double check this, the 213 area, eventually 210. So I'll be looking for a little pullback. Amazon came down exactly as I was saying in the morning, that we could kind of pump and then dump back down. So with this little rejection on Amazon, I said to watch 190 to 192 as resistance. We do tend to reject off that area on Amazon. Got this rejection, we'll be looking for a move back down to 186 and then 185.5. So I'm seeing a weakness on Amazon. Same thing on Meta. We pumped all the way up to 508 only to reject. We failed to hold above 505 and 500. So we could be looking for a move back down to 497, then a gap fill down to 494. So I'm seeing some weakness as well. For GameStop, we are once again showing a little bit of weakness. Uh, Even though it's trying to rebound a bit, we're still on the downtrend overall. It is possible we retest 25, just shuffle, but like I said before, not much of a bounce just yet. If AMC fails to get back above 5 or even 4.5, I see this gap fill all the way down towards 4.3. That's also a very, very strong possibility. The VIX is still holding up and the market is still showing some weakness. So I just want to call that out, guys, to just be very mindful of that. And that's also part of the reason why Tesla kind of pumped and dumped. It's still range bound, so we have to give Tesla some time. So look for a lot of shuffling. And I think that we could dip a little bit lower. We could actually be approaching 180 very soon. So I'm seeing some weakness. Just be very, very careful, and we'll see how things go from here. So Tesla could dip a little lower to the lower 180s, continue to shuffle, and we'll see how it goes. If we lose 180, though, that's when we're going to be dipping down to 177. Otherwise, just watch these levels and just know that there is weakness in Tesla stock and also the market overall. Now, this could just be temporary because Tesla has deliveries in about a week from now, so things could always change. But for now, I just want to call this out. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours, and peace out.